Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at more gut instinct stories. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. I volunteered as an EMT in a small village just outside New York City as a senior in high school and my first few years of college. This night we were on call for not only our town but the surrounding 2 villages who were out of service. One of the villages isn't exactly the best neighborhood. Now, generally we always have a police officer on every scene we go to just because they can always get there faster. This time around, though, in this bordering village, there was a fire on the other side of town and some sort of crime investigation elsewhere. Basically, PD resources were stretched thin. A call came in for a 25-year-old male with a facial wound at a private residence with instructions that the patient was in the backyard. We were dispatched and told there was no PD available and no advanced life support available. It was just me and my driver. Note, this is a standard in most agencies. It just felt very unnerving for me. So we get on scene and it was an apartment building with an open yard in the back that we could drive onto. My driver pulls onto the field and he sees the patient sitting in the shadows as though he was hiding. Something felt off and that feeling prompted me to hit the floodlights on the ambulance, illuminating most of the yard. The moment the lights came on, we saw 5 to 7 men with tire irons and baseball bats standing in what was once pitch blackness. My driver hit it in reverse and we got out of there. I got on the radio and called for immediate assistance. Turns out those guys were planning on jumping us. To this day, I fear what would have happened if we just walked up to the patient. That is actually messed up. Like, you're really gonna waste their time? They really could have been saving someone else's life, but because these people thought it was funny to do this. I was driving down a nearly deserted road around 2 in the morning and saw an attractive young woman in heels walking in the opposite direction. I didn't think anything until a few miles down the road. Then instantly had the feeling that something was wrong about the situation and something bad happening to her was a real possibility. I didn't turn around or anything, but I checked local news for the next couple days, hoping I didn't see anything about her. Oh, okay. So they didn't really do anything. But honestly though, that is suspicious, isn't it? Like, why would someone just be there alone? You know, in the middle of the night at somewhere deserted. Because honestly, all I can think about is just this being a trap. It's way too suspicious. I don't know, man. Because what are the possibilities? Like, what, someone dropped her off here, or she's walking home in the middle of the night in a deserted road? The hills. The hills is what makes it suspicious, because what are you doing in a deserted road in hills? Because then it just means they weren't there to hike. I don't know, that's just suspicious. When I was 12, I was at a mall. My mum was usually very strict with us staying close to her, but that day she decided I was old enough to shop alone. So she let my sister and I wander off on her own while she was at her friend's jewelry store. Went to a bookstore first, and I saw 2 tourists who didn't speak the language struggling to communicate with the cashier in a bookstore. Figured I'd be helpful and translate for them. Went back to looking for my books and the guys approached me to say thank you. They were on either side of the bookshelves, boxing me in. They offered to buy me lunch or coffee to say thank you. Don't know why, I got the strongest gut feeling ever telling me to say no. I'm the type who loves chatting with strangers, and even until now, I'll happily grab coffee/drinks with a complete stranger. I told them that was a very nice offer, but my mum's expecting me, so I can't go off for lunch or coffee with them. That's when they went full creepy and confirmed my gut reaction. Oh, you don't need to tell your mum. I'm sure she won't miss you if you're gone for a while. No, how about dinner then? Where do you live? We'll pick you up. I'm sure you can sneak out. You don't want to sneak out? It won't be that bad. That is for sure a red flag. What? Seriously, like, what kind of adult wants to have dinner with a 12-year-old? Yo. I was 12 and stupid, have been trained to be polite, who's always respectful to my elders, so I kept replying to them and didn't know how to get out of it. My sister decided to ditch me with those 2 men instead of rescuing me too. Wait, the sister was with them? What kind of sister is this? Luckily for me, the cashier correctly thought things didn't look right and immediately asked the guys if she could help them. I ran off at this point. That felt creepy, but I thought maybe it was cultural differences or something, so I went back to shopping with my sister. Suddenly my sister went, "Those two men are following us." I was all, "What? No way. Maybe it's just a coincidence they're here." They kept showing up everywhere we went, and they even went up to us laughing, going, "Oh wow, we keep bumping into each other." We decided to test out if it was just a coincidence by going to the women's lingerie section. I mean, there's a smaller chance two men would just happen to be going to lingerie shopping together. They were there. Screw enjoying our freedom. We ran back to the jewelry store as soon as possible. Luckily for me, the jewelry store came with really intimidating security guards, and my mum's friend called for even more backup after she heard our story. Don't know what happened next, but I think the two guys were escorted out of the mall. That is actually so creepy. Jeez. Ugh. Thank gosh nothing happened to them, honestly. Oh my gosh. Oh, what do you even do in this kind of situation? Scream? I mean, you're in public, so I'm assuming you can get a lot of help if you scream, you know? Man, I don't know. This is just scary to think about. Once my now ex-girlfriend and I were driving home, I had the strangest premonition that something bad was going to happen with her sister-in-law. I told her about it and she took it rather seriously. She texted her sister-in-law to be careful, and I think she took it as a joke. An hour after dropping off my girlfriend, she called me to say that a tree nearly fell on her sister-in-law and her kids, but because she was spooked at what I said, she was being extra careful. Nothing bad happened, thankfully. Oh, they just saved someone. Good on you. Almost 8 months pregnant, normal complication-free pregnancy. Walking through the grocery store, I had a twinge of a headache. Told my husband we needed to go home. At home, I took a shower and relaxed a bit, but got an urgent impending doom feeling. Still just a tiny headache. Packed my toddler's diaper bag and requested we go to urgent care. The whole ride there, I felt fine, wondering what I was even going to tell them at check-in. But that "you're not okay" feeling was still looming. We pulled in, I carried my sleeping 2-year-old inside and basically said I'm pregnant and something isn't right. My blood pressure was 256/148. I had a seizure 7 minutes after getting in the room. If I had told my husband to drive past and go to the ER, we would have been stuck in traffic as a truck had rolled over. If I hadn't left the grocery store or my house when I did, there's a chance I wouldn't have made it. I feel like headaches mean something when you normally don't get it often. I mean, I get headaches pretty often, so I don't think much of it, you know, because I guess it's like migraines, you get it really often. Hated it. It's so annoying because why do headaches even come to you? Not enough sleep? Stress? Not drinking your coffee that day? Like, honestly, you just don't know. 3 years ago, I was planning a major fundraising event. I was working ridiculous hours trying to make sure everything was going to run smoothly. I had worst case scenarios planned out like a crazy person. One day, I was climbing the stairs after getting home rather late when I became unnaturally short of breath. As I sat on my bed, my breathing returned to normal. My face became hot. I started to tingle with fear. I didn't know how to explain it exactly. It was like I could feel electricity in the air warning me something was wrong. I immediately packed my laptop, paperwork, extra clothing, toothbrush, and so on, and I slowly walked down the stairs to my car, driving myself to the ER. As soon as I got through the doors, I collapsed, unable to breathe. I don't recall everything that's happened right after, but what I do recall was being in the hospital for 8 days because both of my lungs were littered with blood clots. I had gotten a blood clot in my lower left calf from sitting and working too many hours on the event. It broke loose and spread throughout my lungs. Had I not driven myself to the hospital when I did, the nurse said I would have died. I would never ignore shortness of breath again, and I will trust myself when I know something is wrong. That could happen? Guys, take a break when you need a break, okay? Oh, that is scary. What? They got a blood clot from just sitting and working too many hours? Man, I sit a lot. I honestly love how organized they were though. Like, they got everything they needed just in case something was wrong, and that it was like they knew they had to stay at the hospital for like 8 days. They even packed their laptop and paperwork. Wow, this person just sounds very, very organized. Like, they knew something was wrong with the body, but they were like, you know, I still need to work. I was at a bonfire and had planned to get a ride home with one of my friends. I got really anxious right before we left and ended up staying at the bonfire. On his way home, my friend had hit a light pole and it ended up falling and crushing the passenger seat, right where I would have been sitting. He was completely fine, just a few scratches and bruises, but I definitely would have been severely injured. They just saved their own life. They were like, oh, yeah, not today. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, I guess sometimes being anxious can be kind of helpful, you know, especially for gut feelings. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.